Markiplier.
Big boy Deku.
Standing here,
I realize
you were just like me.
He looks like a dad that would like that's on FaceTime with okay.
Is he?
His
he a
kid.
dad?
He's like a FaceTime dad. He's a FaceTime dad.
He's my dad.
He's a FaceTime dad.
Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the Hype Fest Revelations. Today we have one more little surprise special thing going on. You see, last episode we interviewed some people from the multiverse, right? From the lands between and whatnot. Today, we're doing a little bit more than that, baby. We're interviewing some fellow content creators. That's right, fellow content creators. I hope you enjoy. This one was a lot of fun to make. Had a lot of fun collaborating with everyone, so yeah, hope you enjoy. You'll see me once before the video's over, at the end. But for now, enjoy these content creator interviews. See you then.
Greetings, humans and non-humans out there. My name is the Basement Dweller, but most people just call me Dweller for short. I live in the basement, and I talk about many nerd things. I'm also something of a good gamer as well. Oh man, what is my most anticipated game? Well, this year I'm hoping for Hollow Knight Silksong. Like, I have hope. I think it's coming this year. Oh, please. But if we're gonna talk about a game that's like announced to come out this year, I mean, it's a 99% unless they do some weird, oh yeah, we're gonna delay the game last moment kind of thing. I'm pretty hyped for Splatoon 3. I've been a big fan since the first game. Well, since the demo or that's when I got into the whole series, and you know, honestly shocked that we're getting 2 Splatoon games in one Nintendo system. You know, I'm very hyped about that. Like the world, the characters, the music. Groovy.
What is my most anticipated game of the year? Honestly, I haven't really been following video games much this year. I've kind of hit this point where I've got such a backlog, and my interests have sort of moved in slightly different areas that I'm not really keeping up with anything. I did see that Spider-Man was recently announced for PC officially. You know, there had been leaks for months now, but to finally see the headline, I think that is something I am really looking forward to. Still waiting on the, still waiting on the headline saying Ghost of Tsushima is coming. If that headline comes out, that's my most anticipated game of the year. I have been dying to play that game.
What's your most anticipated game of the year? Starfield. Although I am more of a weapons type guy, I have always been fascinated in space when I was younger. But now that I am older, I have always wondered what it is like being on other planets. It's quite cool being on the moon in certain games, but it would help my imagination of other planets with being able to travel there and explore the ideas they have. The art looks really promising, and this game seems to have been in development for about 3 years, so there should be some unique and a lot of content to do on each planet, and it would be fascinating if there will be anything to interact while being in the spaceship flying in space. The potential is quite high on the content they can provide.
What's my favorite video game of all time? That's a hard one, you know? I mean, over the years I've put a lot of time in different games. At one point, I was really into Rocket League, and I was playing Rocket League hours every day with friends competitively. And I really enjoy games that are different every time you play them as well. So it could be some kind of roguelite or like a card game or something. And while I do think Magic is probably one of the best games ever made, I don't know if I'd call it my favorite, especially for video games. I think I'm gonna have to go with something that is not only fun, but really left an impact on me as far as characters and motivations and just the story in general. I think I've got to go with Metal Gear Solid 3. Just the just the way the story of that game unfolded, the experiences you had with Naked Snake as he begins his transformation into Big Boss. It was an experience that you don't see often in video games, and if I could replay a game for the first time again, I think it would be that game.
What's your favorite video game of all time? My favorite video game of all time is Deathmark from the Spirit Hunter series. So there's two games, Deathmark and NG. NG is objectively better in every single way, but Deathmark has a special place in my heart because it was the first game that really got me into horror. So Deathmark is a horror visual novel, and it starts off with this middle-aged man who wakes up and he has amnesia and a mark on his hand. So this mark is called the death mark because people who have this mark on their hand die a really brutal death. So he goes to this abandoned mansion or whatever, and he finds this living doll, and he teams up with the doll and other death mark bearers to basically find a fix to their death marks. And so death marks are given by ghosts that haunt the living realm. So in order to remove their death marks, they basically have to exorcise the ghost. So the whole visual novel is basically about him trying to find his ghost. It's a great game. I like it. I enjoy it a lot.
My thoughts about E3's cancellation and may not return in the future, well, that saddens me. As a gamer, E3 is like Christmas for me. I hear news from many companies. I tend to watch the Nintendo presentations live. Many hype moments in my life happened during on E3. I remember seeing Dragon Quest, and Smash Bros. That blew my mind. Oh man, I really hope this doesn't come, because like if we lose the Game Award, if we lose E3, all we have is the Game Awards. The Game Awards isn't bad, but it's just like bargain bin E3, which, because like the goal is to award many games for the year, but sometimes they do small surprises, which those are the things I show up to watch, but the rest is like a slog, and oh man. But I really hope E3 comes back next year. It's something for many gamers are excited for. I know we got the Summerfest thingy. Hopefully, this will do the thing for me.
What's your thoughts on the cancellation of this year's E3 and potentially the event itself? So I'm not a massive follower of E3. In fact, I don't follow E3 most of the time. Like, the most I do is look at E3 clips and stuff. And maybe I'll watch some people react to E3, but that's it. But I think I would be sad to see it go, because even though I'm not super active when it comes to E3, I do enjoy looking at the clips and watching people react to it. I think it's neat. So yeah, I would be a bit disappointed if E3 were to go, and I am disappointed that E3 wasn't able to be hosted this year.
As for my thoughts on the cancellation of E3 this year, I think we are at the point where E3 isn't as important as it used to be. And I think that's largely due to just how the landscape of the internet has changed over time. Everything feels a lot more centered around a very few specific platforms. We've already got the Nintendo Directs. If we just had a summertime release from every company just decided, hey, we're gonna release information around summer, around the same time that E3 would have been, is it really any different? If I could will any game into reality, what would it be? So I really like horror games, but specifically from the PS2 era. The Japanese horror games from that era. I think Fatal Frame and Silent Hill, the PS2 games of those, are the best horror games ever made. Blurry textures mixed in with CRT TVs, all the scan lines and everything. It created these images in your imagination that maybe weren't always there. Maybe the actual models themselves weren't as monstrous as what we saw it in our imagination as we were encountering it. I think that's partly why I have such fond memories of playing through the original Fatal Frame, and I would go into a new area and the camera would change because it was doing a fixed camera. It was a fixed camera game, kind of like Resident Evil, and I remember the camera would change and I would just stop and I would just have to like look around and scan and just be like, is there anything here? Is there anything here? And slowly work my way out. And then maybe somewhere in the background you see something start to move. But did you really see that? Is that just the CRT scan lines messing with you? I think VR is the best place for horror to transition into right now. Just because it could be more visceral. It's a great way whenever I remember when the Oculus, the original Oculus Rift first came out, and I got one of the original Oculus Rifts, and everyone was making these really cheap horror games for it, but they weren't really games. They were just like walking simulators. They were more like proof of concepts more than anything. You would be in an abandoned asylum, and there's no like enemies or anything. It's just you're walking around this abandoned asylum, and maybe every now and then a door closes, and there's some noises in the background or something like that. But even that was just absolutely terrifying. And if we could get something like Visage in VR, I don't know how I would react to it, but I would love to play it.
My thoughts on Jeff Keighley. Well, that's pretty simple. Bring back the Among Us, mask! Come on, I want it back, give it back!
Thoughts on Jeff Keighley? I do appreciate his hard work, and I am quite excited if his Game Fest is going to be better for the community than for E3 2021.
Okay, what are your thoughts on Jeff Keighley? Jeff Keighley? Or how his name is pronounced? He is such a long boy. Such a wide boy. He's kind of creepy looking at that angle though. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm sure he's a person. He's definitely a person. That's all I do not know who he is.
What are my thoughts on Jeff Keighley? So I don't really have many thoughts on him. I mostly know him from back when I was on the Game Trailers website forever ago, and he was one of the faces of the website. Outside of that, like, seeing his face once a year for the Video Game Awards, that's the extent I know him. I do really think that he handled the situation with Kojima back during the Metal Gear Solid 5 days very well. I have a lot of respect for him just from that.
My most hyped game from previous events would have to be everything Smash Bros. Ultimate related. Be it from E3, Game Awards, random directs outside of these events. I just liked Smash Bros. From the reveal of it, any characters announcements, just was really great having the community come together just to freak out that some, one-winged angel showed up and and everyone's all freaking like, oh my gosh, or when Joker infiltrated the Game Awards, that was pretty hype.
What has been your most hyped game from previous events? I guess Inscription, because I think I saw Inscription at E3, but I can't guarantee. It might have been at some other game event, I'm gonna be honest. But, if I had to think of what, Inscription is, like, the first one off the top of my list. Because I remember Inscription, like, really standing out in my mind, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I like that. So, that's one game I would have chosen.
What do I want from Sonic Frontiers? Well, this is something I doubt would happen, but I kind of hope we get, just because, Sonic is cool, but he has cooler friends. And I kind of hope that we get to play as these characters, you know, like, just imagine, you know, this open world game, and you can have, you know, Shadow with this cool skating animations and stuff, Knuckles doing gliding and climbing, I hope I said that correctly, having, you know, Metal Sonic, you know, who could do, like, a little thing, or the Silver with telekinesis and stuff. Oh, man, I miss Silver, like, is he ever gonna be playable again? Also, I hope the game isn't buggy, like, I'm, like, cheering for the Sonic team to succeed in this. Like, they stumble down, like, they do things, and they somehow manage to stumble down a few steps back. Like, I don't know, man, how they do it, but I'm hoping they could catch themselves a break, you know? Like, some people are losing faith in the Sonic team. I haven't given up hope yet.
What do you want out of Sonic Frontiers? I'm probably not gonna play it, I'll be honest, or watch anyone play it, but I love Tails. I would love to see more Tails. Even though I wouldn't play the game, and I'm not the target audience at all, I would like to see Tails. He's a cool character. Yeah, that's all I got, though.
Oh, goodbye, hero.
That was me. That's the basement dweller, you know. I'm glad to be part of Hype Fest 2022. Let's go. Let's get the hype train ride. Okay, I don't know. I haven't, you know, have expelled this much energy in quite a while. Take care.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? Oh yeah, we're only getting started on this year's Hype Fest. So, make sure you stay tuned and see all the fun stuff we got planned for this June, you know? There'll be streams, video, another video. Well, you know the point, that's besides the point. But let's get back to the point, alright? It'll be fun. So yes, thank you for watching. Now I'm gonna figure out how to get out of this place. So, see you later. Bye. Hey everyone, Euro here. Quick. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone I interviewed over the last 2 episodes of Hype Fest Revelations. This obviously wouldn't have been possible without any of their help, so thank you.